Hi everyone and welcome to KRYPTALK, that Irish guy that talks about Bitcoin. And I just want to take you through 5 indicators or 5 trends that the Bitcoin price is currently above that suggest that this bull run is not over. Higher prices are going to happen or incoming, and $88,000 before the next halving is still in play. Now, my price target for this run between the halving that took place last year in 2020 and the next halving that will happen in 2024 is $88,000. Now, there was a time when it looked like the Bitcoin price was just basically accumulating, increasing so fast that it was going to hit $88,000 by the 6th of July. So I'm going to own that, and obviously I was wrong about that, but I do break that down in one of the prior episodes. If you have a look back at it, there should be a link popping up there. I strongly suggest you check it out, because the reasoning behind the $88,000 price target, it's solid. And I have actually broken it down that episode, and I will actually reference it later on in this episode as well. So just a few basics here. If you look at these perforated lines, this red one, this green one, this yellow one down here, they represent significant previous all-time highs. They're all previous all-time highs. So if you look at the top one, the red one, the all-time high for Bitcoin ever, 64,900. So that is the price to beat. Now the next one here, this green perforated line, is the all-time high of, I think it's around 61,700. And then this one here is 58,339. Of course, this one down here is $42,000. So if you look over here around mid-January, the 8th of January, it hit $42,000. That's very significant because it stayed above it from mid-January to, then it fell below it in mid-May after the Elon Musk tweet and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so 5 indicators or 5 trend lines that Bitcoin is currently trading above that suggests that not only is this bull run far from over, but the price is getting healthier. It suggests the bulls are back in control and that higher levels, they just look like it's going to happen. So before I even start into them, have a look at this. I mentioned this in one of my last episodes there. This point here, this deck cross, when the green line fell below the red line. So remember, the green line is the 50 daily moving average and the red line is the 200. And typically on the reverse, we were so used to having the 50 above the 200 and the price increasing and the bull run continuing and the price growing. But here when we had this happen, obviously we had a price dump. Of course, I have mentioned before, it's a lagging indicator. So we've had this, the Elon Musk tweets and all the China FUD and all that stuff when basically the Chinese government was cracking down on Bitcoin mining, and a lot of the Bitcoin mining companies had to migrate to other crypto-friendly nations, and the hash rate drop and everything, all that stuff, they're causing the price to drop, or that stuff happened, and that fear, uncertainty, doubt, and the price dropped. Of course, when that happens, the 50 and the 200, which are lagging indicators, react, and we had this, what we call a deck cross. But if you look at it, they have started to diverge away. They've kind of run, I know they're not quite parallel, but they look like they're getting a bit closer together gradually, and this 50, because of the price action in the last few days and weeks, is back on the rise again. So the 5 indicators that Bitcoin is currently above that suggest we're in a good place, that it's bullish, that more price action to follow, and I believe $88,000 before 2024, maybe even by the end of the year, is possible. I'll be honest, I think it's going to happen in the next 12 months. So just maybe ignore the people who are telling you, the people that maybe bought Bitcoin in the last, I'm just going to give you a story. So I was speaking to someone recently and they said, no, that's it, done, Bitcoin's finished. This person had bought in around 20,000, and then when it crashed, they sold around 30,000. They were delighted with themselves. And that's all well and good if you have $20,000 hanging around. But this person said, oh, it's finished now, Bitcoin's done, that's it now. Now, they'd only found out about Bitcoin really in the last 12 months. They had bought X amount of Bitcoin and they had sold, and they were adamant it's done. I just asked them a simple question. I said, okay, so you know what you're talking about. So if you're after investing that kind of money, I asked them, what's the current block reward? Now, if you have bought Bitcoin, if you've bought Bitcoin and you've held Bitcoin, if you've invested, you should know the answer to that simple question. Now, I'm not going to tell you what it is, because if you've bought Bitcoin, you're currently holding Bitcoin, any amount of Bitcoin at all, you should know what the current block reward is. If you know what it is, I want you to type it into the comment section down below. Right, we're going to get started here. So The first thing I want you to look at, this is our Bitcoin price. So this is the Kraken daily chart, and Bitcoin is trading at $46,389. Okay, that's so we're far away from its all-time high of 64,900, but we are obviously a lot safer than we were, say, down around 29,000 only a few weeks ago. So this red line here is a 200 daily moving average. And we've just recently broke above that. We haven't got, since the Elon Musk tweet and all that FUD and the kind of the bloodbath really that happened there, we haven't managed to get above it. We were rejected here, and then we haven't gotten near it. Now here, we got rejected here, and then we broke up through it a few days ago on the 9th of August. Now we've had a retest here. I just want to zoom in here. We had a retest here, this bearish daily candle. Remember, all these candles are daily candles. And then we've had this bounce above it again. So if we can manage to keep putting in daily opens and closes above this 200-day moving average, remember that's the average price of the last of the daily closes for the last 200 days, and then you end up getting this trend line. That's why it's not, it's just a wave as supposed to be like a perfect line. That's a massive deal if we can actually stay above that, okay? Because when we break below it, if you look back here, I'm going to zoom out there from the last kind of days over the years. Look, like this massive bull run we had last year, we were well above it. So you want to stay well above that. Now, of course, if it gets rejected, then we're back to basics again, and we'll see more downside. The second one I want to talk about is this white trend line here. Now, I'm going to actually just have a look at right from the start where that trend line originates from. Now, this is back to basics. Here we have the all-time high of 64,900. Then we put in what's called a lower high. So it's a high point, it's a peak, but it's lower than the previous all-time high, which was the all-time high of 64,900. And then we set another lower high here. Now, if you look at the Bitcoin price, high point, lower high, lower high. It traded sideways here. It looked like it was actually going to break down out of this descending triangle, which typically, most of the times, like 80% of the time or something like that, the price does break to the downside. It's a bearish pattern. We can get rid of that now because the price broke to the upside, which is actually bullish as well. We started putting in a higher high here, and we have another high point here. So that's excellent. But this trend line here, right, if I just connect the top, the all-time high, to the next, what's called a lower high, like I said, basic trend line, it tested this here, it was rejected and back up again. That's very bullish to us. We've broken out of this trend. Now we are still in a downtrend, okay? Make no mistake about it, we are still in a downtrend because we're below this high, and we're below this if we really want to argue about it. So Bitcoin basically has to kind of come up here. Now this will be another point we will talk about. So there are the two things. So it's broken above the 200-day moving average, and it's broken above this downtrend. So I'm just going to get rid of this as well. The next one we approach here, this yellow perforated line, this is the $42,138,000 level, because if we scroll back, as I previously mentioned, right here, this point here, that was an all-time high, and Bitcoin managed to stay above it. It acted as support here, fell down, got rejected here. So basically it stayed above. There was a previous all-time high, it stayed above it, and we're back above it now, and it had acted as resistance here and here, and it acted like support here. You can see that wick down. So that's a massive level. Now right below that, I'm just going to zoom in here so you can get a better idea. Right below that, this level here, which is kind of coincides with the 42,138, it's just below it, around $41,500 level. That's a Fibonacci level. So that's a 0.618, and that is vital. So obviously Bitcoin, it tends to, just want to show you here. So Bitcoin doesn't just go straight up. It tends to go up, have a crash, go up, have a crash, maybe a bit sideways movement, and goes up, and a big crash and up. It doesn't go straight up. Nothing goes straight up. So what it's done here is that it tends to, when this happens, it tends to obey these Fibonacci retracement levels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out and show you where I actually started that from. Now to do that, I've got to go all the way back down here to basically March 2020, which is all the way over here. There's a March 2020 crash. So that's where I'm starting what's called the zero on the Fibonacci retracement. And then of course it goes all the way up, and I set my 1 above here at the all-time high. So getting above this 0.618 level is very significant as well. it had acted as, see, like the combination between the $42,138 level and then this Fibonacci level, which is the 0.618, it had acted as resistance there, but getting it back above those two levels is massive. So that's 3. So we have the 200 daily, that white trend line, which I've now removed, the 42,138 represented here, previous all-time high represented here by the yellow perforated line, and then of course this 0.618 level. So Bitcoin tends to accumulate around these levels. And the last one then is one of my favorites, the EMA ribbon. Okay, that is the ribbon here, which is represented by these yellow and orange and red lines. Now if you look at it, if we go back here, it's going to show you exactly how significant this level is. If we go back here, when the Bitcoin price is trading above that, it tends to be increasing. The general trend is up. Also, the ribbon spins. So when the yellow lines are on top and the red lines are on bottom, that is bullish. But of course, look at the opposite. When it trades below, when the Bitcoin price is trading under it, it's decreasing and the ribbon spins and the red line is on top and the yellow lines are on bottom. But and if you look at it, sorry, 1 second. If we look at it, what's actually happened here? It's after flipping again. So since the Elon Musk tweet and the fear, uncertainty, doubt, the FUD that was spread and the negative news coming out and the regulation and China basically banning Bitcoin mining and all that kind of stuff. And that's vital because China is, one of had the monopoly on Bitcoin mining. Really, the majority of Bitcoin mining was taking place there. But so it had a significant crash, and you have this red line. This red lines are above there. My point is, the EMA ribbon on the daily has flipped bullish again with the yellow lines on top, the red lines on the bottom, and we're trading clearly above it as opposed to under it. So there's 5 different indicators that the Bitcoin price is currently trading above that suggest the price is healthier now, that the weak hands have been shaken out, that people are not scared anymore, they're gradually reaccumulating. So what you're going to see is the same people who are telling you that, oh, it's done, it's finished, the Bitcoin geniuses, the experts out there who have bought in the last 12 months but don't know what they have bought. They can't answer simple questions like, what's the Bitcoin halving? What's the total Bitcoin supply? How many Bitcoins have been minted? These are simple questions. You wouldn't buy a car without asking yourself the basic questions about it, or researching the basic things about the car. What fuel type does it take? How many miles are on the car if it's second hand? Is it NCT? Whatever. You wouldn't actually do these things. So you're going to see the same people probably buying back. Okay, buying back in when it hits 50, 60 and 70 just to make a quick buck. So again, none of this is financial advice, but I still think higher prices are definitely, they're inevitable. I think it's not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't ever invest more than you can afford to lose, the usual. But let's just have a look at the next Fibonacci extension level. Now to do that, I just have to I want to remove this EMA ribbon because it's getting in my way. And we might actually just switch this to the weekly just to clean it up a small bit. And we're going to look at this. So this Fibonacci level, this box here with all these levels, just all these like red and these solid lines, these red, this red one here and this green one here, all these are Fibonacci retracement levels, because I'll just draw you a little example here, because what Bitcoin actually does. So let's just say the Bitcoin price starts here. It's not going to go straight up here. It tends to come up like this, go on a rally, and then crash down. And usually, a lot of the time, these rallies coincide with Fibonacci retracement levels and might go up again then to the next level. So what I've done here is I've started my Fibonacci retracement level at 0 with the bottom of the March crash, which basically the day the bull run started here really, up to the top here, which was 64,900, the current all-time high. Now if we have a look where we are now, just have a quick look where we are now in terms on the levels, right? The next significant level is 0.786, which is only like $52,000 thereabouts. So you're only like talking like 6K away. And if it breaks through that, you're talking about retesting the all-time high. But the next significant Fibonacci level, the Fibonacci extension, is the 1.272 level, which coincides with $82,000, which is $6,000 off my prediction for this bull run or this bull cycle. And what I mean by that is before the next halving, I believe Bitcoin is going to hit $88,000 minimum. That is a conservative estimate. There's people out there saying 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 plus. The stock to flow is calling for $288,000 level. Start dollar cost averaging. Do your own research. Never invest any more than you can afford to lose. Got any sort of value from this episode? Go ahead and like, subscribe. Sláinte.